Hello and welcome to sim.bc. It is 2:15. Oh my god, 2:15. 2:15. Quarter past 2 in the afternoon. Seems like a good as day as any, a good time as any, doing these vlog type videos since I've done these around this time the last couple of days. Seems like I've found my schedule will probably be totally out of whack once my semester really begins, though, and when I have other things to do. Well, yesterday, as much as hitting the 10 videos mark was that milestone, you can see that yesterday's video if you want to. I still feel kind of sick. I thought it was because I was so hyped about the video and maybe I was stressed or something like that. But I have this tender feeling in my throat, which is basically means that I can't go to the gym, which bums me out in a way. But in another way, I can focus more time on the script. Woo! From my upcoming video that I've teased and wanted to talk about, but haven't done yet. But anyway, so I finalized the script as I said, and I added the comic and entertaining parts. Now I just need to actually edit together the video, which I will do through PowerPoint, because technical expertise cap and all of that. Anyway, but that means, and I believe that I won't get fat over like a day or something, or a week when I chillax from the gym, which I did think when I was younger that I would, that I would be fat like that. So I always went to the gym and exercised, but now I feel confident enough that I can actually relax a week or two without the fear of getting, overwhelmed by my own lazy nature when I don't force myself to go to the gym or do sports. Well, anyway, to today's topic, cultural clashes, the pros and the cons, and my own personal view. Now, when it comes to diversity in the workforce, it's very important to think about that someone who is coming to your team, a new asset to the team, maybe from an offshore office, or maybe a different company, or someone who is new to working and just finished college or high school or whatever floats your boat, wherever you want to drop off or continue, it's up to you. But you got someone that's from university, let's say, and they're from the other side of the world. Now, it's important to think that they do not only lack the experience of working, they also have different manners and a different form, so to speak. So good manners in, for instance, Sweden might be that you give them some personal space. You don't want to invade their personal space. You don't want to be too up close. You want to maybe do a handshake, maybe a hug if you know them, but nothing too personal over that. Not that touchy-feely stuff. You want to give them their space, so to say. Not that we are very specific in our work relation, in our social life relations, but just that you still want to give them space. But then someone comes that is from maybe Asia, China, for instance. And as I've mentioned before, I did a short work on China, and I am not from China, and I don't know many people who are from China, even though I'm fortunate enough to go to study at an international program. So I do know some people from there, but not all of them. So this will not be. So I'm stereotyping a bit from the people I've met. Well, but based on my personal experience, they like touchy-feely stuff. Maybe not the touchy-feely so that they want to go around and touch you all the time, but that they're more interconnected in their work life and in their personal life. So, for instance, if I then am a Swede and I want to show some good manners, I might give this new Chinese coworker some personal space, while the Chinese person wants to go up to me and say, "Hey, my name is," I can't pronounce any of them. Let's say Mike. And I am your new coworker, and I'm from China, and they might behave in a way that I think is inappropriate. They might go for a hug directly, or they want to go out for drinks afterwards when I just want to chillax at home and not do anything because I've been working the entire day. But they might want to socialize and do stuff like that. So it's very important to keep in mind that different cultures in the work team have different perspectives on what manners is. This can be both a pro and a con, because it can increase the efficiency of a team if if they bring this new perspective in. So, for instance, if you have innovation is always important, and if you have someone from the other side of the earth, or maybe just an office away from down the street, but diversity in some sort, you will have an easier time in getting innovation out, because I might have some technical expertise or some marketing expertise that works really good in Sweden, but if we want to extend to a new market, let's say Germany, for instance, not that far away from Sweden, but still, it's a different market. Maybe this Chinese person's expertise in marketing and sales, let's say, will benefit us, because we can use both our Swedish expertise and this Chinese person's expertise, combine them, and see which one works best in Germany, for instance. Now, the bad thing is that if you have people that are from different cultures and from different diversity, because of diversity, and they have these different manners and different ways of doing business, they might be very stubborn of being that my way is the best way. For instance, that is really, really common, unfortunately, at least in my experience, based on the people I've talked to. When you have an expatriate, and that's basically someone that is going to a different company, or the same company, but in a different city, or in a different state, or in a different country, or a different part of the world altogether. When you have someone from your company going away, at least, and they go to this new company, stay there for 3 months, 6 months, 2 years, depends. They gain all of this technical expertise, and then they want to come back and share this expertise with the company. But a lot of the times, the expatriates don't feel like this information have gone through to the bosses and the management leaders and the team leaders. And that can create a problem. The expatriate feels underwhelmed, and not underwhelmed, but they feel like all their time investment in this new company didn't work out. And that is mainly because of the bosses and the team leaders have a certain way of doing things, and they don't want to change that. The same happens more often than not, according to my experience, unfortunately, that when someone comes from China, for instance, and wants to work in Sweden, they have a new way of going about problems, but the team leader in Sweden, for instance, don't want to change the way they're doing business. This hinders innovation, and this makes diversity a bad thing when you have a stubborn leader that can't be flexible and can't adapt to the bigger picture. They might think that my way is the best way, so it's my way or the highway, so to say. Which is bad, in my own opinion. But there are some people who have made that work. I can't think about anyone on top of my head, but like IKEA, for instance, they're very militaristic in their approach, and they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They've done a similar thing where they have the same kind of, you buy something and you put it together yourself kind of formula in the entire world. Sure, they have changed it a bit, but the same basic idea is still the same around the world, as far as I know. Now, it's also a bit problematic, if we go back to diversity in the workforce, with bureaucracy. Because if you have someone that comes from a different country, for instance, if you work in the US, especially now that Trump is president, I wouldn't say that, but it's always been hard for people coming outwards to go into the US, even though the US is based on immigration workers, even though they don't want people from Mexico now, but who am I to judge, and who am I to comment on that? If you want to go into the US, you need a work visa, for instance, and if you are rejected a work visa, but you have the technical expertise that the company wants, and they want you in the US, this can create a bit of a problem. Why you would be wanted and not obliged to a visa, I don't know, but let's just say it happens. This is just an analogy for something else that can happen. Perhaps you want to go to Germany, but you can't get into the EU, for instance. Or you want to get to China, but you can't work in China because you're not allowed. Maybe you broke a rule sometime down the line, like 20 years ago, or something like that. This creates a big problem, because if bureaucracy comes in the way, diversity can seem like a bad thing. Because, for instance, let's say that the team leader says, "Hey, Bill, I want to give this position to you, but we have someone else coming from China." And then when Bill hears that this person from China or Germany maybe can't get into the country to begin with, Bill might start questioning, well, if I am not good enough, like if this person is better than me, how come they can't get into the country? This can spark a political view, sure, but it can also let's get him in, but it can also spark the idea of this person is not good enough to get into the country and still they're better than I am at this position, which will make for a problematic view in the company. Now, I really hope this isn't happening a lot, but it's a potential thing again. Now, some of these things that I mentioned are mentioned in Universum's blog post, which I don't remember the topic of, but I will leave a description. Description of it. I will leave a link of it in the description. And I accessed it today, so 2017, the 5th of September. Just so you know if they might change anything or edit it. That was everything from me today. I will have a new interesting topic tomorrow. So, bye all. Have a good day.